Well, thank you, Jerry. You know, when I go to the playground with my kids, I never look around thinking that one of those kids is hardwired to do evil. I think as a society, we have opportunities through education, services, to help people live productive, good lives. And that, so many criminal cases I've handled, it's people who've just made mistakes, people who've struggled with different issues, whether it be drug dependency, mental health issues, others that prompted them to get into a bad situation and make a bad decision. We need to improve the community services that we have available. I think it's fantastic that we have a mental health court in Jefferson County and a drug recovery court, and those have been highly successful, as I noted. But we need those kinds of efforts in the community before people hit the doors of the courthouse and before they end up with being prosecuted. So, one example that really shocked me, and I wrote an article about it, it's on the Facebook page, was the Alamosa County Jail. I was on a campaign tour through southern Colorado, and I stopped in Alamosa, and I visited with the sheriff, and he took me through the jail there. The overcrowding, Jerry, is horrific. Now, I've been to death row in California. I've been to Rikers and state prisons in New York, and I've been to state prisons throughout Colorado and different jails in Colorado. What I saw in Alamosa was the equivalent of something I think you'd find in a third world country. There were people laying on the floor because they were just overcrowded to such an extent they had nowhere to put them. The sheriff was fighting to get more resources and was having trouble. And he offered to allow me to see the jail and to write an article and to help call attention to it. And since then, the ACLU actually was conducting an investigation into it, and they found that one of the judges was acting inappropriately, and the judge had to resign in the face of the ACLU investigation. But when I think about Alamosa County, and I recognize that the jail is overcrowded because of the opioid epidemic and also because of mental health issues, the counties need to have more services available to help people. So when it comes to mental health issues, making sure that we have critical response teams available in the community to help people who are struggling with mental health, because they don't belong in the jails and they don't belong in prison. That's not where they're going to get the treatment they need. We need to front end those services and those resources instead of trying to do it on the back end through the criminal justice system.
Always better to do preventive maintenance instead of waiting for your car to break down, so do all that stuff and take care of these issues as much as we can prior to, and for me, incarceration should be like the last resort.
Right. I completely agree. And, you asked, Jerry, why people commit crimes, and I wish I had the answer to that question because I'd be glad to put myself out of business, quite frankly. I was in downtown Manhattan on 9/11. I was at the Aurora movie theater shooting on behalf of the AG's office. I was the lead point person there on behalf of the AG at the time. And I've just seen horrific crime scenes and handled some really terrible cases throughout my career. And I've always wondered if we can answer the question why. But I do know that by giving people more mental health treatment and drug treatment, we help them from getting into bad situations. And right now, under Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump, there is a real threat to criminal justice reform efforts. The two of them are trying to put us in a time machine to bring us back 30, 40 years to fight a war that has already been lost and lost again. We need to be more progressive, and that's something I've been throughout my entire career, and that's how I'm going to be as Attorney General.
Excellent. Okay,